Thank you. Let's begin by thanking Jay and Hazel. What an amazing slate of books. That's like an incredible, diverse, amazing amount, so it's wonderful. Also, there's a lot of people involved with this book, so just bear with me. Malcolm did the beautiful cover design, and if you go and pick up a copy, there are photos, and beautiful visual chess pieces from Derek Bolia. So it's not just poems. There's a lovely introduction, which I'm going to read from as well. And Malcolm put it all together, not an easy job. Avril did the proofreading. I wanted to thank Jody, who I haven't seen. If he's out there, come find me, please, Jody. Jennifer wrote the introduction to this as well. It's a terrific... She's one of the most interesting people I've ever met. She's a 2-time U.S. women's chess champion. She makes her money playing poker, which boggles my mind. And she wrote the introduction to this book, and it's lovely and it's wonderful. Yeah, I want to thank everybody. There's a number of you in this room that played chess with me and talked about this book, so thank you. And last but not least, thank you, Julia. She couldn't be here, but the book's dedicated to her, so thank her for that as well. Jay actually stole a bunch of my 5 minutes where I was going to talk about Duchamp and sort of where this came from. So maybe I'll fill that up with something a little bit different. What this does is it takes the reunion piece and as inspiration. So what I did is I wrote 12 poems. Each poem has 64 words, so each word maps to a square, and then each piece gets a poem. So when you move a piece to a square, it triggers a word, and then there's some computer stuff that makes it sound a little bit fancier. So, and a little bit more grammatical. So I thought I would read from Jen's really lovely introduction. In particular, she writes about a game between Duchamp and Vera Menchik that I wanted to talk about. I'll just read a little. Though I never had a chance to play Duchamp myself, I lived vicariously through the twists and turns of his 1929 Paris game against Vera Menchik, 7-time women's world champion. Menchik was the first woman to compete at the highest levels of professional chess, and she held her own. It was then so unusual for a woman to perform at that level that a Vera Menchik club was formed of her victims. Menchik unfortunately died in the London Blitz in 1944 when she was only 38, leaving us to wonder how large her club would eventually have become. As a proponent of getting more women into the game, I find this score an important counterpoint to Duchamp's easy win against Eve Babbitt's. You might have seen the photo. It's a very famous photo of Duchamp. There's a young naked woman across the chessboard playing against him, and he's completely ignoring her and focused on the game. So the game between Vera Menchik and Duchamp begins tepidly, and then after one rote move by Menchik, Duchamp earns a huge advantage with a sharp sacrifice in which he gives up a queen temporarily. When he wins back the queen, he has 2 pawns to the good, a total winning position. Yet Menchik fights back and eventually earns a draw. The ChessBard translation, appropriately even if coincidentally, includes the terms resistance and reassembled weather. As the defender punches forward, the tension transfers back to the player with the initial advantage. Sometimes a draw can feel like a win, but in this case, Duchamp was a disappointed one. So I thought I would read the poem that game produced. This is Marcel Duchamp playing white versus Vera Menchik in Paris in 1929. A sandy resistance or lock, not any red or plaster, lively applaud a cubed lock. Each consideration burns that spoon, abjectly observes and sounds, deserts, bound, shift, and insert, reproduce, grinder, the single stage above, circled chorus, and reformed. So I'll read a few more. This is him playing black against George Allen Thomas in Paris in 1929. Each center, each hooded diagonal, memorably paves darkness or stains into ill-formed ownership. Molecular clogs or clumsily reproduces proud drug, and this forever steeply assures noise. So the thing about writing with a computer and a computer co-author is you don't quite know what they're going to produce. So I've been kind of reading back through this book trying to find poems that I think have lovely moments. Some of them are related, I think, to Duchamp. He had like a female alter ego that I think seeps its way into this poem. It's Boranovsky, Nice in 1930. He plays the white. Mechanical sand interlocks an act, that desert, eat makeshift desert, necessarily or hideously revolves applause. What is a spooned woman? Where is present memory? Coherent worm and copied basket, applauds circlet and erratic women. Mirror, womanly mirror. And I'll just end by saying, if you come and buy a book tonight and you find me, I've 3D printed some Duchamp designed chess pieces. He designed these in Buenos Aires when he was 20-something. So if you come and find me, you can have like a beautiful little rook or a beautiful little knight. Okay, thank you. Good night.